Hey there, New Life fam. Pastor Chris here with a special announcement for you all. I first want to say thank you so much for your generosity over these last several months. In the midst of everything going on, our church has maintained its generosity, and that's all kudos to you and your faithfulness and your trust in the Lord who provides. And it's because of your generosity, our church is investing in a very potentially fruitful, a guaranteed fruitful ministry going forward. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that. We're talking about online church. I think we can agree that in the midst of this pandemic and with no change in sight just yet, people are still searching for hope and purpose and faith in something. And many people are going to turn to the church for that, have been turning to the church for that. But that's church with a capital C, not necessarily any church building. People aren't necessarily going to come to a church building just yet, many of them, especially people who haven't been to church in a long time. And so online church is going to be our greatest mission field for the next few months and for the years to come. And then if you consider many of you who would call New Life your home church, many of you still aren't ready to come back for in-person worship just yet, or for however many months it may take until we get a vaccine perhaps, or what have you. So you've been turning to our online services for your worship experience each week as well. And so for the next few months, online church is going to be a great source of discipleship for our own people and a place for some sense of community. So all this is to say that it's to the benefit of the unchurched and the churched that we invest in our online services more than ever. And let's be honest, if you have tuned in for our online services since we reopened for in-person worship, they haven't been great. I don't know that they were all that great to begin with when all this started, but it certainly hasn't been that great since we've been meeting for in-person worship. And part of that is the camera's at an awkward angle, but that's the best way that we can get the audio to come through remotely well, and that's not saying much because the audio still stinks, and if you're watching with your phone, you have to turn it all the way up, hold it up to your ear to be able to hear it, and we have to turn the air conditioning off and everything. It's a mess, and you still can't hear it all that well. It's just crazy. And that's not to mention the fact that you can't see the lyrics to songs or scripture references, or if we play a video in the service, you can't see that either. And then we can't stream to YouTube, because you can't do that on an iPhone, I guess. You have to have an actual webcam video to be able to do that. So we haven't been able to stream to YouTube. So people who watch our services on YouTube, which is half of our audience, they're seeing it 3 to 4 hours later. And with each week that passes, I'm sure it feels like they're getting less and less. They're becoming more and more disconnected from church happening at 10:30 if they're watching it at 1, 2 o'clock, and so on. So all that to say, it's a really poor setup and it's time for a change. And because of your generosity and because of this great need that we have to improve things here, your New Life leadership team has decided to invest in all that it would take to create an enjoyable online church experience for our unchurched and our unchurched folks who will be watching. One that has great video that's at a far less awkward angle, that's at a great angle to help it feel like you're in the room. Same thing with the audio. The audio will be just as good coming straight from the mic to the video so that it feels like you're in the room. You'll be able to see the lyrics. You'll be able to see the scripture references. Any video that we play, you'll be able to see that. And it'll be able to be streamed to multiple platforms, Facebook, YouTube, website, everything all at once. But to do all that, it means bringing in a consultant to help us set up the technology, train some volunteers on how to use that technology, and provide us with some guidance on best practices for online church. And we have found a consultant who will do all that for us. And he's given us an estimated cost of $4,500. And I know that sounds like a lot, but if we did everything ourselves, and we got the right video and the right audio and tried to do it all ourselves, a computer to stream it all through, we'd be pretty close to that number. We wouldn't be too far off. But bringing in this consultant, somebody who's done it professionally for churches all over, especially in these days, it'll be a far better end result for us. So to help with the cost, that $4,500, we've decided to start a separate giving campaign for this project. Our goal is $2,000 in separate offerings above and beyond our weekly tithe. The remaining $2,500 will be covered in our church's budget. So giving to this special campaign is really easy. If you're going to give by check, you can still send those by mail. If you're ever in the building, you can drop checks in the back of the sanctuary in the offering box that we use now. And just make sure in the memo you put online church or live streaming project to make sure that your money gets designated to the right place. And then the second giving option is online. We will be doing that through our Tithely app, which we've been using. Many of us have been using this for our weekly offerings. As you give online through the app, you'll find a drop-down menu. It'll look something like this. The default is for weekly offering, but if you scroll down, you'll find live streaming project. You'll want to click on that to make sure that your offering is going to the designated place. It is our hope that you can understand the reason why this ministry is so important to the church moving forward. Not only for our own people to benefit from it for the coming months and years to come, but for guests to benefit from it as well. We appreciate any offering that you can give to get us closer to our goal of $2,000. We firmly believe that it'll be a short amount of time that we'll be celebrating together, reaching our goal, and being able to move forward on this project. You have proven to be a generous people, New Life, and this project will highlight your generosity all the more. So thank you in advance for getting behind the vision of this project and helping us invest in a ministry that the Lord is sure to bless, both now and for years to come. We'll see you soon.